Last time out of the Gratton Cup Series, it came right down to the wire, and Eli Bright, in what was a crazy finish, was able to steal the win away with a last turn pass on Matthew Hubert after Benny Watson ran out of fuel coming back to the white flag in what was a crazy race at Pocono. But today we head to another track that is capable of carnage, the Chicagoland Speedway in Joliet, Illinois. We're getting ready to go for 67 laps of action in the Geico 400, the 19th race of the Season 6 of the Gratton Cup Series. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Gratton Cup Series for season number 6. I'm Stuart Gratton and this is the Geico 400, the 19th race of the season. And we're getting ever closer towards the end of this season. We're into the officially into the final 2/5 of the season. We're 60% of the way through. We've got 12 races, including this one, left to go. And at the top of the championship, it continues to be pretty tight between Dawson Miller and Henry Gore. After Gore had a good run last week, Miller struggled a little bit. So we'll see how the championship plays out at the end of this one. But it's been an entertaining season so far, and we've got 12 more races left to go to determine a champion here in this series. Of course, there's no chase, so it's just a full-on fight to the finish. And it may come down to the 48 and the 71. Take a look at that championship standings coming into this race. That should be on your screen right now. And it's 14 points that Miller has the advantage over Henry Gore. It was 25 heading into Pocono, but Gore had a 4th place finish. Miller finished in 14th. So it was an 11-point swing in the end for the 71. He gets back within 14 points. Dominic Anthony's now up to 3rd in the championship. He is 62 points back, so a fair way off the lead. It's not insurmountable, but he's got a lot of work to do in these last 12 races. Eli Bright, our last winner in the Cup Series, and that win at Pocono, that crazy finish. He's now up to 4th in the championship, 70 back. He's had a very, very good season. The best year of his career. Brandon Bent in the 27, the 2-time series champion, is still in it. He's 5th in the points, 75 back. Alexander Rowe was flipped upside down last week in that race at Pocono, and he lost a lot of ground as a result. So halted his good run, but he is 86 points back. So again, still not insurmountable, but it'll take a lot of work for him from here. He does start last in this race due to an engine failure he had in qualifying. So that's a tough break for him. We'll see if he can make his way through. Noah Clifton is 7th in the championship, 91 back. And then everyone else is at least 2 or more races back. Matthew Hubert is 100 points off the lead. He had a 2nd place run. Of course, he almost won at Pocono, but couldn't quite hold off Eli Bright there at the end, but still a great run. He's up to 3rd in the point. Up to 8th in the points. I should say, gained 3 positions last week. Tristan Allen, the reigning champion, is 9th in points, 102 back, and Benny Watson's 105 back. He is 10th in the championship after running out of fuel last week. So still time for these drivers to make their way through the field and through the championship. But as I said, it's going to be hard to beat those guys in the 48, the 70, 71. Those guys nearing an average finish of 10. So they have been very consistent, and it will be hard to beat those guys in regards to the championship. Well, let's take a look at our starting lineup for the Geico 400, and we've got a first-time pole sitter once again to lead the field to green. Colin Denton in the 21, a real upset in qualifying. He's had a really tough year, 31st in the points, but he will lead the field to green today. He's alongside Travis Crampton, who got his first career pole a couple of weeks ago, of course, the Daytona 500 winner from earlier in the year. Benny Watson in the 96 ran out of fuel last week, but he comes back to a track he's won at before in the GRL last year. He's joined by Thomas Troxell in the 62, another nice qualifying for the Bright Green Machine. Henry Gore in the 71 is 5th on the grid, 2nd in the championship, 14 points back, of course, and his teammate Dominic Anthony, 3rd in the championship, 62 points back. He starts 6th. Tristan Allen, reigning Cup champion and former winner here back in Season 4, starts from 7th alongside Jared Oren. He's finished in the top 10 in each of the last 5 races. Keep an eye on the 99 today. Dawson Miller, I should say, is 9th on the grid. He is the championship leader, of course, and he's the defending race winner. One here in Season 5. And he's joined by Bryce Egan. Good qualifying for the 18 team. Caleb Rose in the 32 is alongside Julio Caesar. They make up row 6. Logan Williams and 2-time series champion, 5th in points, Brandon Bent. will make up row 7. Matthew Hubert, as I said, second last week, was so close to that win, but still a great performance. He's alongside Kian Raleigh on row 8. Eric Monaco from 17th, good qualifying for Monaco, alongside Charlie Davenport, who got a career best finish last week of 3rd. And then Braden Perez and Eli Bright, our last winner at Pocono, broke a 41 race losing streak to go to victory lane last time out. As the cars are firing up, you see the starting lineup on the left side of your screen. We'll have all 42 cars on the starting lineup there, the graphics on the left. And this race, 67 laps, will be a 2-stop race, and it's quite fast, and so if things go wrong, they can be quite spectacular in a lot of ways. And of course we had 3 yellows last week. This can be a track where we're prone to cautions at times, so something to keep in mind in this race, especially if one of those those main 2 championship contenders, the 71 of Gore starting 5th, Dawson Miller starting 9th, so they're starting up towards the front, but if they get involved in something here today, that could really swing the championship. And the way it might play out. So there's Alexander Rowe at the back of the field, the 51. He will be one to watch. And talk about the swings. Well, he was 3rd in the points and had finished in the top 5 of the previous 5 races before Pocono. And all of a sudden, one bad finish, he's back to 86 back. So kind of shows how quickly things can turn if you get a bad result here in this series. But Colin Denton will lead the field to green for the first time in his career as the pace cars on pit road, getting ready to roll here at Chicagoland. 67 laps of action, green flags out, and we are underway in the Geico 400. Now to turn 4 to complete the first lap. Watson tried to clear. Denton was still there on the outside. Watson does lead the first lap and should be able to clear into the lead. Denton wanted to get down there, but Thomas Troxell, the Pacific Racing Toyota, the bright green car, started 4th, made his way down to the inside in front of Henry Gore, and we got cars on the wall. Oh, big crash! Christian Vargas upside down, and Alexander Rowe is involved. Annie Thomas, Charlie Davenport, and our last winner, Eli Bright. So some big names in this one. Monaco and Steinbach also involved as Vargas is on his roof. And see the 51 off on the inside. You see the 95 with damage. Davenport's car looks pretty badly damaged. And Steinbach in the 98s. And the first caution here on lap 2. So that didn't take very long at all. A huge crash on the backstretch. Now to turn 2. Watson is the race leader. Oh, and Kyler Sustre has just had a mechanical issue. And an engine on car 59. So that's a shame. So Sustre will be out of the race as well, even though it may not have gotten involved. A tough break for him. And here we go. Bit of pit strategy. So Watson, Denton, Troxell, Gore, Miller, both coming in. Crampton, Anthony. So top 3 points all coming in. You see some of the guys staying out. Tristan Allen in the 14, Jared Oren in the 99, and Logan Williams in the 33 are all staying out. And a few others as well. See Jack Haas is there, Max Davis, 25 and Ethan Smith, among others. These guys are taking tyres. They're taking at least right sides. At least I think. Denton's already done with his stop. Left side's here as well. So 4 tyres for the 96. We'll have to check the 21. Yeah, some of these guys must have taken too, because you see Caesar and Hubert. Troxell's gone down ahead. Watson's had a shocking stop. Same with Crampton. They've had really bad stops. And they're going to drop down the order. So changes up the order a bit. I think it's about maybe 7, 8 cars maybe decided to stay out. But the first car off pit road was Colin Denton. And then out of the guys that seemingly took 4, it was Troxell. So we'll get on top of that for you. But Tristan Allen is the race leader. He stayed out. He'll lead the field back to green, but let's take a look at what happened to trigger the first yellow. So here's 3 of the main culprits in this one. You got the 98 of Steinbach. You got Bright. Actually, 4 of them because Monaco was also involved. And they keep pretty tight. Bright Bright trying to make it 4 wide. And he ends up hooking the 98 into Davenport. And then Bright's going to come back down into... Wow. Right down into Roberto Crown, Annie Thomas. And Vargas gets flipped over into the catch fencing. There. Oh, and then gets hit right on the roof too by Davenport as he's coming through. And then the 51 also got involved. And that's what happens when you get stuck down the mid-pack back of the field. You're susceptible to getting involved in an incident like this. And so a bad break for, well, obviously not just Rowe, but certainly the big loser here is Bright, who may be able to continue, but he's got damage, and that's going to have a real big effect here on not just the rest of this race, but the championship, but also obviously Steinbach and Annie Thomas, who made the race again this week, Roberto Crown, and a lot of others here involved, but certainly Christian Vargas, the big loser there, tumbling over and over down the back. Real-time replay. Tries to get underneath there, Monaco just forces a gap that's just not there. And right there, yeah. And when Vargas just hit the 95 in an awkward spot, and just flipped it over and tumble. You see Rowe get involved. Roberto Crown with damage on the rear, definitely the right side, hit the wall hard. And a lot of damage on a lot of good race cars, unfortunately. They are going to be... A lot of these guys are going to be out of the race as a result, and that's a real shame. As I mentioned, Bright, but obviously Davenport ran so well last week. The career best finish. Vargas had a career best finish at Nashville a few weeks ago. So for some of these guys, it's really quite disappointing. And there's where Kyle Sustre blew up. The 59 under yellow. That's really bad. That's some awful luck for Sustre, who blows up under the yellow flag on lap 3 of the race. So that's a shame for him. But anyways, of course, a lot of these guys came down. Tristan Allen was amongst the few that decided to stay out here, so we'll see if that pays off for him. Early stages here at Chicagoland. Lights are out on the pace car. We'll be restarting with 61 laps to go, so still so much of the race left to go. We've hardly gotten started. So Tristan Allen's the race leader. Jared Oren is second. Logan Williams, Max Davis, Jack Haas, that's your top 5. And then Nathan Smith and Derek Hamill. They're the 7 drivers who stayed out under the first round of pit stops. Under this yellow. Colin Denton, Julio Caesar, and Matthew Hubert took fuel only. So these guys didn't even take tyres. They took fuel only. Hubert actually had a slow stop and lost the position to Caesar, so that won't sit well with him, I imagine. But they ran out the top 10, and then Troxel was the first of the drivers who took 4 tyres, which all these guys did. You see Watson then dropped a bit of ground in the 96. The concern here is at the back of the field, all these guys involved. So Steinbach is 2 laps down here in the 98, and then all these guys here, Rowe, Thomas, Bright, and Roberto Crown, they're all in the lead lap, but they have damage, and I worry that these guys might be well off the pace, and so that will be a problem for these guys, for the leaders, inevitably to deal with. First restart of the day with 61 to go here at Chicagoland. It's Tristan Allen back out in front here in this series. Takes the in front nice and quickly. Look at this, all close there between the teammates. The 0033, the Team Williams Dodgers. But look at that, those guys are well off the pace. So this is disqualification territory for Steinbach at the moment, because he is a long way off the pace. They spent a lot of time on pit road. He is 2 laps down, but he may not be in this race much longer. So Vargas is out of the race, along with Davenport, Sustre, and Monaco. And look at this; these guys are all trying to figure their way out. You've got Troxel up here, who's got those fresher tyres, and albeit not too much of a difference. Oh, contact! Oh, that is dicey there. Caesar got into the back of Troxel, and now Troxel's going to get shoved to the middle. And even though, yes, these guys took 4 tyres, of course, there's only a couple laps difference between, say, the 62 and the 26 and some of these guys. And you see Miller trying to make his way through the middle. That's very dicey. You got Gore stuck on the outside. He's dropping back. Now he's going to the middle. Same with Watson. So the order's being shuffled around here quite a bit. as these guys try to figure it out. And all these guys up here who didn't pit, they were like, oh, it's my lucky day. I get to be up the front and having a pretty decent run. How about Jack Haas here in second in the 000? This is a very nice run for Jack. Second at Talladega early in the year. Ran very well at Darlington. Here he is now in a good position to have a strong result in this race. Jared Oren, we talked about his form as of late, has been pretty impressive. Logan Williams, he said, back-to-back top 15s in the last 2 weeks. 11th at Michigan, 13th last week. Then you got Nathan Smith back in here, the 25, working on Hubert. And Hubert's the only guy that pitted that's actually been able to break away with these guys. So 2 of the Seminole cars, you've got Smith and then Davis. Then Hubert, then Hamill, and now Troxell's gotten clear. I don't think he'd be particularly happy with the 26 of Caesar. Caesar's going to come back at him. There he goes, down to the inside. You see Gwar there in the middle. He's got Clifton on the inside, Parrish on the outside. And Watson, and like some of these guys got really shuffled back. Watson got really held back. Colin Denton as well, of course. He was, obviously in a very good position. He got shuffled way back as a result. So some of these guys really lost out. Gwar's just cleared himself from the middle. And guys like, for guys like Derek Hamill, this is a great opportunity for him. Hamill coming into this race a long way down the points, of course. Didn't start the season in this car, but this is a very nice run for him in the 8th position. And a sigh of relief for him and for this team. He does have Troxell all over him. And Troxell, of course, trying to make up for lost time. Same with Brad Perez back in here. So you got all the Pacific cars up here, although Rosegui shuffled back now a little bit. You got Gwar closing in. He's just made a move on Brandon Bent. It's not that far behind the 48, should be said. But you got the Pacific cars right up here. Perez got around Caesar. And now Caesar's going to try and fight it back. Well, no. Perez is going to try and shut the door on him. And he does. And he holds him off. And you've got Troxell now on the back here of the 44. Trying to figure this all out. And trying to work his way forward, of course. He got a top 10 at Charlotte. That's the only top 10 he's had all year. His qualifying as of late's been pretty good, but hasn't quite had as much race pace. He got involved in a few incidents, or entirety of Pacific race. He got held up and caught up in an incident last week. Multiple. Troxell got caught up in a couple. Really ruined their race. They qualified 3 cars inside the top 6. Just didn't quite work out for him. And well, 92's just got around the 62, so maybe Perez got something more up his sleeve. But you got the 2 Nicotech cars right behind Caesar and Miller. Miller, of course, took tyres. Dominic Anthony took tyres as well. So keep an eye on these guys trying to work their way forward. How about the Team Williams Dodgers, though, of Haas and now Logan Williams, who is up to 3rd. So these guys have found a little bit of something here in this run. Nathan Smith as well. Smith is the highest driver in points without a top 10. He comes into this race 24th. Actually, no, he's 25th in the championship. He's lost out on tiebreaker to Thomas Troxell. But he's having a nice run. He's 4th at the moment. He's gotten ahead of Jared Oren, who's not performing as well as I thought he might have. That car's struggling seemingly a little bit. And then Hubert and Davis. The field is chasing Tristan Allen, who's won here before. He won here in Season 4 and he dominated that race. Led the most laps. It was the only win he had that year. But he does like this track. He's performed well here in the past. And so trying to pull away from Haas and Williams, and it looks like we might have a Team Williams battle for position. These guys are really pulling away now from Oren, who's just got around Smith, and now Hubert's entering the fight. You've got Davis, you've got Perez, and Hamill, who are not too far behind. And then you've got the 2 Nicotech cars all battling each other. Troxell now is dropping back. He's dropped outside the top 10. He's just got passed by Gwar. And now his teammate Caleb Rose also getting into the fight. The 32 is 16th, so now make that 15th. He just got around the 62. Look at this. This is an angry battle pack up there. Now, Williams actually just got past Jack Haas for 2nd. Well, I didn't realise he actually made that move stick. I know he had it look, but he made it stick. So the 33 now up to 2nd. The 00 in 3rd. Davis has gotten clear of this Hornet's nest, and look at it. This is going to get pretty ugly because you got Miller now going 3 wide through the middle. Hubert does a nice job not to bounce it off the outside wall. But look at this. You've got Hamill on the inside. You've got the 48 in the middle, and you've got Hubert on the way outside. This is the one thing about Chicagoland. You saw it right there. The 44 really struggled on the bottom. That really cost him a lot of time, and so Miller gets past. Now he's setting sail. This 48 car, is very, very quick. Haas just got back past Williams. So the battle for the second position continues on between the teammates. They have dropped Davis a little bit, but the more they battle, the more they allow Davis back into it. And I'd be worried about this guy because he looks racy. He looks like he's got the eyes on Dawson Miller. Let's go back to back here at Chicagoland. Didn't run very well last week, it should be said. I mean, he was up there for a while, but dropped back as the race went along. Pocono still got a top 15, but it wasn't the result he was hoping for. Now he's got to try and figure out. Oh, look at that, 3 wide. Hamill getting shuffled back. We've got Rose and Crampton battling pretty hard. Now Miller's got to try and figure out. He's gone down to the inside. That was close there with Oren. Almost a bit of contact there, but Miller's going to make it stick. So the 48 is on the move. He's just got up to 6th. And he might have the fastest car on the track at the moment. But the field very jumbled up after the round of pit stops. And he's got to be careful though, because Perez is going to have another crack here, I imagine. And he will. There he goes down to the inside. And side-by-side battle for 6th position. And Perez gets the run. Can he carry the momentum on the kind of inside bottom lane? He will. Oh, that is... My goodness, what a save by Hubert. Anthony got into the left rear and they hit the apron, and normally that's a recipe for disaster, but somehow Hubert held onto it. Nice bit of driving there to keep that car straight and not back up into traffic, but that was a close one there. It's certainly not going to help their chances as Miller's finally got around Perez. And he's going to try and close in. There's Steinbach. I forgot about Steinbach. We won't disqualify him. But he's a long way off the pace. Now, it looks like Williams has just hit the apron there a little bit. Look at how much time he lost there on the bottom of the racetrack. How about Davis up here now as well? You know, he's stuck behind Steinbach right now as Haas goes to 2nd. And that's not going to help Davis out one bit. The fact that Steinbach's in the way. Now he gets to the inside. But he didn't even lose that much time. These guys certainly did. They lost about a second on the last lap to Allen, who is now pulling away. He's 2 seconds clear now of the field. So Haas gets back around Williams. And here comes Max Davis with a big run. Has to check up there at the exit of the corner. That's not going to help his case. Oh, that's close too. I reckon there might be some people that might want the disqualification of the 98 here in this race, but not going to get it. Might change that for next week. I don't know. Certainly do it at super speedways because that's where it has the most impact, the most damage. As now Davis gets to the inside of Williams. Williams sends it up with more grip on the outside. These guys, of course, didn't pit earlier on, but they've held up pretty well, I would say. They've held up very well. As they're still trying to work around this 98, who will be more of a factor later on. And Perez here battling with Rose. Perez got held up. He actually got back past Miller, and then he got held up by the 98, so he'd be a bit annoyed with that. Be interesting, because these guys, you know, up at the front, Allen and company, they've all got a pit relatively soon. Same with Oren and company. Miller doesn't. He is fairly, you know, he's fairly good at the moment. He doesn't have to pit. And look at the run he got on the outside, and 25 of Nathan Smith had a shocker through turn 1 and 2, and now Miller's going to try and power his way past on the outside. And here we go. That's what I was talking about in terms of the guys have to pit. So I think Allen is pitting from the lead. I think that is. The 92 got held up again. Brain Perez is... who was that was coming in? Was it the 99? I think it was the 99, wasn't it? It was Jared Oren. So he was coming in, and the 92 got held up. And look at the Hornet's Nest. And this is what you worry about here with the 3 wide and stuff. So trying to get around Steinbach. And that really hurts Henry Wall. He's the big loser in all this because he's the one that's stuck behind him at the moment. As Derek Hamill pits and some of these guys in front. So Jack Haas actually led the last lap. Nathan Smith is now the leader. You get bonus points, of course, if you lead a lap in this race. Smith is still ahead here of the 48, so he's actually held him off pretty well. But you'd imagine he would have to pit sooner rather than later. Certainly comparison here to the 48s. Oh, that was close there. Smith now dives off onto pit road, so 25 is in. Now, some of these guys, of course, I don't know the case about Caleb Rose. He's now second behind Dawson Miller, gets a bonus point for that. But Caleb Rose, I'm not sure if he pitted on the last time. I think he did. I think he did pit. So I think the order is right now effectively sorted itself for the moment. Now we've got more lap cars. Eli Bright in the 95, who's nowhere near off the pace of Steinbach. And Gwar lost a heap of ground as a result. He was stuck behind him for a while. And you see Troxel's really struggled here in this run. This run's gone along. He's dropped a long way back. He's trying to get around Steinbach right there. And he does. Alexander Rowe was involved in that incident. His damage isn't too severe, but it is clearly hampering him. Because he's battling here with Williamson and Will Parrish and company. Now these are the guys that pitted. So Allen gets out. And they're on an alternate tyre strategy now. So will this benefit them or will this hurt them? So there's Haas, Davis, the 33 of Williams, the 99 of Oren, and Smith amongst the guys that stayed out. Now Derek Hamill's the other one, and there he is. So he's a bit further back, unfortunately, the 44. But these guys will have to pit pretty shortly. Got Anthony on the inside here of Braden Perez. Field spread out a little bit more. And here we go. Yeah, they're going to pit now. So Hubert stays out. Perez stays out. Miller, Rose, Anthony, Brandon Bent, Gwar. The 40 of Jake Rogers. And a few others all staying out here at the moment. And see, Andy Thomas there, 73. And I think somebody got held up. I'm not sure. Bright's also in there, the 95. So got to crown off of pit roads. Got to be careful as Perez goes to the lead. Gets around Hubert. And now the battle will be between the 48, the 14. We'll see where they come out relative to each other. It should be Allen, I would imagine, who will get out ahead. Oh, that's not going to help him, though. They got held up big time. Williamson's trying to get on the pit road, and everybody's going to get held up. Here goes Williams around the outside of them all. And Haas got really, and Allen, they got really held up there by those guys trying to pit because they were all trying to get around them. There's Allen. He still gets out ahead. He's still going to be ahead of Miller. Here comes Jared Oren in the 99. He's going to benefit. Jack Haas was the big loser. He lost a bucket load of time. But Miller gets out. That's not a bad position. He's not that far back. As these guys are still trying to figure out, so now Hubert enters pit road. I'm trying to figure out who's where. There's Perez. He was the leader for a second. He's going to be coming up behind Miller. A decent chunk behind Miller as well. So good stop for the 48 by the looks of it. So when this all cycles out, Allen will be the race leader. DW Motorsports, it's been a tough year for him. They would love a race win here. They're looking for their 40th race win. They'd be the first team to do so in the series. We're looking for 40 race wins. For comparison, Nicotech Racing and with Dawson Miller and Clifton in this field, they're the two winners, the two drivers that won for them this year. Nicotech Racing won 36 races in their history, so it's a bit of a battle between them. And then Gifford Technologies Incorporated 21, so kind of emphasises the kind of dominance that DW's had historically. Should be the leader now, Tristan, and he is. The margin's only a second. Jared Oren, I think Jared Oren's going to be thanking Will Parrish and Josh Williamson because he gained a lot of time as a result of what happened there. Poor old Jack Haas. Feel bad for Jack. He was running second at the time and looking very, very good. Still sixth at the moment, but he won't be happy with the way that played out. And I guarantee you that for a fact. He lost 4 spots as a result. Davis got held up as well. Allen got held up. And Jared Oren is now closing in here on Tristan Allen. So, I don't know. We'll see. You've got Smith in 3rd, Williams 4th. There's Davis, Haas. Derek Hamill's 7th. He won't stay there because he's got Miller right behind him. Oh, we got a yellow on the racetrack. And a big crash. Crampton's involved. Huge crash. Car upside down. Gwar might be involved. It's Watson upside down. Oh, got to be careful here if you're the leaders. Where's the leaders? Allen's the leader. Oh, got to be so careful here. I think they're going to avoid all the... Look at the damage. It might have evolved. Looks like Bright was may have been one of the... Oh, he just got turned by Rally. That might be... Well, that might give us an indication as to what happened. But Watson was upside down. Julio Caesar was involved. I think it was Egan. I think the 20 was going through the air. There's Troxel. He was certainly involved. Williamson, Sam Medea got run into by Crampton. Gifford. There's the 97. Egan in the 18. So a big crash for a second yellow of the race. And now a little bit of strategy. Henrik Ward, I'm not sure how much damage he got in that. We'll have to figure that one out. That's a big moment in the championship, but he will at least continue. And now everybody should be able to make it to the end. They're always going to have to make this final stop, but this is This is really good for Allen. It's good for. I mean, look, Miller's a bit closer, obviously, but it does them a lot of favors. Now Logan Williams is done. Same with Nathan Smith. So they must have taken 2 tires. So an interesting strategy there for these guys. Leonard Koshmer as well, Perez. There's Anthony, so another one that's playing the game. So a bit going on. Matthew Hubert is still out here in the 8. He's trying the alternate strategy again. I don't know if it'll pay off this time. I mean, I said that last time. It may pay off. Will Parrish and Duncan Ward as well. So second yellow of the race, and this was a big one. Let's take a look what happened. Well, I think Kean Rowley had a reason for turning Eli Bright under the yellow. And I guess this might be discussed later on, but Bright's going to come up, and Gifford has got all the momentum in the world, and he drives straight into the 95. It's not Gifford's fault, of course. And you see Bright comes back up the track into Caesar. Kelly Lee has nowhere to go, and then it's just on. It is on from here. Samadeo, Rally, nowhere to go. Richard Fridge, you see Gore trying to break through, gets a little piece of it there. Contact between Dawn and Watson. They shoot up. They go up into the wall. Koshma gets through it. Alexander Rowe gets through it. Somebody's going to nail this 20. He's sitting sideways on the track. Someone's going to nail the 96. Bryce Egan's the one that runs into the 20. Williamson. Look at the air that both the 20 and the 1 get. Crampton ran into Samadeo. Watson, I think, is going to get turned over right here. Yep, by Rally. And Troxel's going to run into it. There's the 45. He got hit by Crampton. Oh, Duncan Ward got a piece of it right there. Troxel runs straight into Watson. And a lot of torn up race cars. And that 54 might be a problem. He might be a real problem because he stayed out. That's going to be fun to deal with on the restart. I think there might be a bit of a discussion as to the lap cars, I think. Slow cars, because we do it at the Super Speedways. Thought about it here for this kind of reason, but didn't commit to it. So I don't know. I'm sure this will be a discussion in the post, to be honest. But anyway, a lot of cars torn up, and tough night for Eli Bright. Looks like Gwar got through it. It looked like he'd be okay, but tough night for Eli Bright, 4th in points, and our last winner in the Cup Series. Real time, you see the initial contact as Bright tries to clear himself. He just doesn't have the speed, the momentum that Gifford has, and then it is on from here. That's where the 7 gets his damage. And then they're all trying to get through it. That's the hit there. You saw Egan. There's Watson getting into it. Man, a lot. Oh, there Denton runs into Williamson. A lot of torn up race cars. And nasty, nasty incident. Somehow Richard Fridge is able to drive away from that. I don't know how. The car was destroyed. And then there's that little extra little incident. Kia Rally's not happy with Bryce. And probably fair enough too, I would imagine. That's a lot of good cars torn up in this one. So tough break for all involved. Let's take you back to the restart. Coming back to the green this time. Matthew Hubert's the race leader. Will Parrish, Duncan Ward. Now this is a concern because Ward was involved. He's got damage on the front. So that's a real concern. Going back to this restart. Nathan Smith came in. He took 2. May have taken fuel only. I actually didn't check, but he's certainly pitted. Logan Williams, Leonard Koshma, Braden Perez, Dominic Anthony, Ladova Charette, Brandon Bent. And then, I'm not sure about Haas. I'm not sure what the go is there, but Allen certainly took tyres. Same with Oren, same with Davis, Dawson, Miller. And we got a lot of cars out of this race, and we got 25 laps to go. So anything goes here in this second restart, and we'll see if Hubert and company, will it pay off for them? Actually, Paris has got a bit of damage too. Green flag, back underway. Oh, don't want to be stuck on that outside given the damage on some of these guys in front. Williams is going to get held up. Nathan Smith, you see the guys out of the race include Bryant, Williamson, Fridge, Samadeo, Gifford, Crampton, Egan, Caesar, Watson, Raleigh, and the 62 of Thomas Troxell. So they're all out of the race. Matthew Hubert didn't really get going, but now he's up to speed. He looks okay. He's just on older tyres, so that'll be a concern. And I'm not sure about his fuel. He was, I think I imagine he'll be able to make the distance, but he may not. Nathan Smith's got past. He's second. Duncan Ward's up to speed still. Then it's a bit of a hornet's nest. So Williams is fifth. Koshma under attack. Here comes the 39 of Anthony. You got Charette up there again in the 23. Second straight week for Charette. Oh, Parrish now has to pit in the 11. Not sure if that's still there. That's no issue. So that's a deliberate call. That is a fascinating one. I was worried that might hold everybody up, but Haas is okay. He's on the inside. Dominic Anthony in the 39 trying to work his way forward to the inside of Logan Williams. This is the battle for fifth. And he's going to get past the 33. Here comes Charette. Oh, Brandon Bent. Oh, he saved that. Oh, a bit more contact. Oh, how did they not reckon Miller got held up into it? What on earth? How did he save that car? I don't know. It held Miller up though big time. And these guys are all hitting the apron. This is a recipe for disaster back here. The Colin Denton was involved. He has damage on the front. We know Rowe has damage. A lot of these guys have got damage. They're all over the place. Kelly Lee was certainly involved. Miller's been held up. Rose, I think, was held up as well. Dawn's in the outside wall. He was spun around. It's all going on, and there's the 71 of Quor. He's now ahead of Miller. I've lost track of what's going on. This might be the man to watch, though. Dominic Anthony. He's up to third. He's getting around Duncan Ward. And he will make this one stick. So keep an eye on the 39. Keep an eye on Oren back here. The 99 trying to work his way forward. So couldn't quite get around Braden Perez right there. The 92 is going to hold him off. So this is the order. Hubert has pulled out a big gap. Given that, well, I would guess the 25 didn't take tyres, if I had to guess. Because he's losing time hand over fist. So Hubert is the second up on the field. Then it's Smith. Then it's Anthony. Duncan Ward, that damage doesn't seem to be affecting him. Jared Oren, he's in now up to fifth because he just got around Perez. You got Williams back in here. You got Ludovic Charette inside the top 10 again. Max Davis. And then Tristan Allen, who was the big loser in all that. He got shuffled out of order there in the 14th. That's a real shame for him. Koshma, Clifton, who's been very quiet in this race. Derek Hamill, and there's Gore. So at the end of it all, it may work out for Henry Gore a little bit. He is ahead of the 48. But now Miller's starting to work his way through some of these guys, so he'll be on the tear here in the back end of this race. He may not get the win, but he's going to try and hunt down that 71. And of course everyone else in front of him. So the margins are second still for Matthew Hubert, who was second last week. He was so close to that elusive race win. And it was a fascinating strategy. I can't believe it almost worked for him. He decided to do basically what Will Parrish just did, where he pitted after the restart, the second restart, except he knew that he had to pit again. Unlike the 11, who definitely couldn't go all the way, but he had to pit. He knew he had to pit again. He got the yellow he wanted. Actually, he was able to make it the distance. That's a lot. He was able to make it the distance, but he got the yellow he wanted. He got to the front of the field, took the leads away from Watson when Watson ran out of fuel, and now here he is. Finished second that day. Now here he is on the cusp with 16 to go. He's got a big gap and he's really pulling away from Nathan Smith. Smith's still in second, but he may not have this position for much longer because you've got two hungry drivers back in here. Anthony, Dominic Anthony, he's going for second. With all that's happened, and is happening back in here, there is the 48. He's trying to just plow through these guys and get past as many as he can. Dominic Anthony, he could be the big beneficiary because he's third in points. He could well get back within under a race of the 48 potentially. He's got to win the race, you'd imagine, because, it's going to be hard because you got Oren right there as well. And Hubert is 2.5 seconds up the road. So, contact! Another amazing save this time from Anthony. So, contact between Oren and Anthony. My good, how? I reckon that's 3 saves in this race by a variety of drivers. Somehow, they've been able to hold on to it. They've been all over it. The margin now is 3.3 seconds. Hubert is gone. If he could stretch at the distance, he's probably going to win this thing. Oh, we got a car in the apron. Oh, it's Gwar! Can you believe it? The tire's gone down on the 71. Oh my goodness. Another twist in the tail, and now Dawson Miller is in a decent position. Can you believe that? The 71. He's stuck there on the apron. There will not be a yellow flag. That's a terrible break for the 71. Hasn't had any issues all year. He's completed all but 1 lap in this series. Ironically, same as Dawson Miller. Now he's out of it. That's a real shame for the 71. That's going to hurt him in the points. But Matthew Hubert is 3.3 seconds up the road with 12 to go. 11.5 to go. Jared Oren is going for second. Underneath Nathan Smith. Seminole Motors, they've had 2 of their cars, they got involved in that big crash just then, but they've got 2 cars inside the top 5 at the moment. So Nathan Smith hasn't finished in the top 10 all year. And here he is, currently third now. He's just lost that position, of course, to Oren. Davis has had a couple of bad weeks, but he's had a very good year as a whole. And he's just got around Smith there. Smith overcommitted, lost a lot of momentum. And so he's now up to third. I don't know how Anthony sailed. That's a remarkable couple of saves here in this race to go along with the big accidents we've had. Then it's Tristan Allen. What could it be for Tristan Allen? He led so much of the race. Contact there. Again, more contact. This time it was Perez and Duncan Ward. And look at the 48. He is just weaving through these guys at the moment. He just got around Williams. So that's just outside the top 10. He's 11th. And Henry Gore, for what it's worth, he's 26th. So actually, with the sheer number of cars out of the race, it's actually, this is going to hurt the 71. It's not going to be anywhere near as bad as it could have been if this thing had stayed green. But Miller now up into the 11th position, going for 10th. To the inside of Duncan Ward. He's going to make it stick, so he's now into the top 10. And there's the 71 coming off a pit road. Be careful. And he does get back out there. Got to be real careful. The last thing Matthew Hubert wants to see is as a caution right now, because he's in primo position to win this race. But Miller up to 10th. It's all going on. Hubert's just got around the lap car, the 98 of Steinbach. And look at how much spread out it is. So 3 seconds from first to second. And then the gap between Anthony and now 7th place Noah Clifton is over 2 seconds. How about Alexander Rowe? He might, despite the damage he has, he might get a good, he's top 15 at the moment. That's a pretty good effort, I reckon. All things considered. Ludovic Charette as well, inside the top 10 again. Now, I was just about to say, Max Davis has just got around the 99. I was just about to say, these guys are closing in on Hubert at a rapid rate. And if Hubert can't go the distance here, which, if last week is any indication, I think he can, these guys are the ones that are best positioned to win the race. But It certainly doesn't help when they're battling each other. 3.3 seconds once again. But Davis might have the fastest car at the moment, potentially out of this front group. He's second. And you know, we've only had one rookie driver win this year. What is a very talented rookie class. There's only been one rookie winner, and that was Travis Crampton. He won the Daytona 500. He won at Darlington. Hubert was fantastic in the 500. He led the most laps in that race, the Daytona 500. Led 16 of them. And if he could bring this thing home, it'll be his first career win and what would be his 19th career start. Battle continues for second. Because these guys know if Hubert can't go the distance, which I think he can, but if these guys, you know, if Hubert can't go the distance, then these guys are battling basically for the win. Because these guys certainly can. But I mean, Hubert, I'm almost certain will be able to make it. He could coast from here. Even, you know, the time that Davis has just made is a lot. He gained about 5/10, a half a second, but it wouldn't be enough to catch the 8. Oh, but he's going to pit! He's going to pit! Oh, I thought he could go the distance. He can't. Here goes Davis to the lead, coming to 3 laps to go. Can you believe it? What a shame for Hubert. Unbelievable. And now Max Davis is in position to win this race. 11th in the championship coming in. Best finish this year was 3rd twice. Seminole Motors have only won twice in their history. As Allen goes to the inside of Oren, he is pulling away. 2 laps to go for Max Davis. How about the 6? And there's Hubert. He'll be devastated. There's one thing to finish second, but to have that happen to him is a devastating result. But how about David? He's got a second gap. He could cruise from here. Because Oren and Allen will not catch him. And you will see. Here we go. You're going to see it. White flag. 1 lap to go. The battle is for second as Allen gets to the inside of Oren. As I said, you know, we've only had one rookie winner this year. That was Travis Crampton. He's done it twice. He did it in the 500. He did it at Darlington earlier in the season. Seminole Motors have only won twice. They did it at Charlotte twice. Garrett Sidor and Noah Clifton. But today, Max Davis is going to join the list of first-time race winners. He's going to join the list of winners for Seminole Motors. And out of turn 4, down the front, Max Davis, Seminole Motors, win the Geico 400. His first career win in his 19th career start. And Seminole Motors get to victory lane for the first time this year. Toyota get their first win of the season. And it comes with Max Davis, who gets it done. After a bit of strategy and some chaos in this race, he gets it done by 8.5 tenths. The first win of his career. And what a drive that is for Davis. You see the full results on your screen. So Max Davis, the race winner, from Tristan Allen, who got by Oren there at the end. I think Allen may have led the most laps in this race, I think, off the top of my head. So he'll be disappointed, but second place, still a very good result. Oren third. Nathan Smith hasn't had a top 10 all year. He finished 4th in this race, so well done to him. Dominic Anthony ended up 5th. So, in the end, Anthony will make not much ground, but he will make ground in the championship. Noah Clifton 6th, Ladovic Charette, Caleb Rose, Dawson Miller, and Jake Rogers the top 10. You see the rest of the results, but Miller ending up in 9th. Is a huge result in the grand scheme of things. A huge result for Miller. He's going to make what he had. He's going to make what he had back and then some after what happened last week at Pocono. And you see the full results and the tales of woe. Gwar ended up 26th after that tyre went down. What a shame for Henry Gwar, but this first real blemish of the year for the 71. At least for him, it wasn't as bad as a lot of what these guys had at 15 cars failing to finish here at Chicagoland. It lived up to what we kind of perhaps expected with the chaos. But how about the sheer number of cars out of the race destroyed? And how about Max Davis? And how about Seminole Motors? First win of the year. First win for Max Davis in the Cup Series. He won with this team in the SRL 3 years ago at Oregon. And he gets it done again here tonight, the Craftsman Toyota in the Geico 400. Here are the championship standings after 19 races and another swing of the pendulum. This time it's Dawson Miller. He gets the massive advantage now. 32 points ahead of Henry Gore on the back of salvaging a 9th place finish. So a great result for Miller, but that's a really bad blow for Gore, who came into this race 14 points back. He loses about 20 points in the championship, and he's got to make it up in these last 11 races, so he's still got time to do it, but frustrating for him. Anthony remains in 3rd. Brandon Bent, Noah Clifton now up inside the top 5, and Eli Bright drops 4 positions. Davis back into the top 10 with that win, and Matthew Hubert, I'm sure he at least he's still in the top 10 in points. That's something you can take to the bank. So you can see the rest of the results right there in terms of the championship, but right now it feels like really it's a 3-horse race. Maybe a few more, but really with 11 races to go, it feels like it will come down to Miller, Gore, Anthony. It's going to take a lot because a lot of the field at least feels like we're close enough to about 2 races back. So anything can happen, I suppose, within the last couple of weeks. But, I don't know how many people would have thought that Seminole Motors and Max Davis would go to victory lane in this race. He started 25th. He gets the win, first of his career, and Seminole Motors get the 3rd win in their history. A long-time team, one of the long-time teams in this series. Fantastic to see that. Well done to Richard Frigid Company, and, of course, well done to Max Davis, who gets the job done here in the Geico 400 at Chicagoland. Now, that was a chaotic race. There'll be some discussion about it, but it was a lot of fun, and I think that'd be fair to say. Next week, we return to Atlanta, the first track that we've actually been to, the first duplicate race of the season. We returned to the Atlanta Motor Speedway, which was a great race earlier in the year. Benny Watson won that one. Great battle with Jake Rogers throughout the race. And we'll see how this one plays out. It will be the Echo Park Automotive 500, so it'll be a bit longer than the one earlier in the season, but should still be a lot of fun. So thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see everybody next week at the Atlanta Motor Speedway.